Joining me now is Democratic State Representative Justin Jones, who was expelled from the State House after joining a protest supporting gun reform in the wake of that shooting. He was then voted back to office in a special election. Welcome, Justin. I'm glad to have you here. Look, there was significant tension as this bill was approved, and I know you were banned from speaking on that floor for 2 days, and you say you were physically shoved by one of your Republican colleagues. It stemmed from you filming these chants from the gallery. Let's play this up. What happened there?
Yes, well, Alex, it is a terrible time in Tennessee because the governor has now signed this horrific law that is going to allow teachers to carry guns. This is the largest expansion of gun laws we've seen in our state since the mass shooting at Covenant. And in that gallery, you see my constituents, you see mothers, you see grandmothers and parents and teachers and students telling my Republican colleagues that they will have blood on their hands. For over a year now, Tennesseans have been showing up to our Capitol week after week, begging for common sense gun laws. And the governor just spit on the face of all these people and spit on the graves of the 6 people killed by signing this law. Nothing to rein in gun violence like common sense gun laws that would expand universal background checks, ban assault weapons, red flag laws. Instead, he's putting a law to arm teachers, something that no teachers want in our state. Wow. And it's an insult to Tennesseans.
Justin, I want to talk about the bill specifically because, as we understand it, a staff member would have to complete 40 hours of training, get a background check and a psychological evaluation. They would then also need the approval of school officials and local law enforcement. But to your point, parents would not be notified because of confidentiality, meaning parents won't have any idea at all if their child's teacher has a gun in the classroom. So here's the question. Would teachers with guns have made a difference in the Covenant school shooting when the killer had an AR-15 assault rifle and a pistol caliber carbine with 30 rounds in it?
I mean, that is the insanity, Alex, is that what is one handgun going to do against a military-grade assault weapon? Nothing. The Covenant School had armed security. I mean, you saw in Uvalde, officers were afraid to go in a building with these assault weapons. So this is just a false solution. And really what it's about this idea of trying to proliferate guns in our state. The number one cause of death for children right now is gun violence. And so it's about proliferating guns and not doing anything to rein in the issue, which is a uniquely American problem of gun violence.
Let me ask you this in regards to that. Is this putting too much responsibility on teachers? If, let's say, they're paralyzed by fear during a school shooting and they can't shoot, or they accidentally shoot a student or anybody else, could they be blamed for what happens?
That's the point we got no clarity about, is who has liability. They refuse to answer that because the real liability is on the governor and my Republican colleagues. And let me I want to say this too, that this is really also about, I've been thinking about this in my head, about trying to make parents afraid to send their kids to public schools. Because so many parents I've talked to in my district have called me, emailed my office saying, we don't know if we can send our kids to schools anymore because we're scared. And it's really about this idea of trying to destroy public education, which the governor's been trying to do, and pushing guns in our communities. And now they're in tandem. And so teachers are not asking for this. They're asking for more supplies. They're asking for psychologists and counselors, better pay. No teachers in Tennessee are asking to have this law to allow them to carry guns. It's insanity and it's morally inexcusable.
And Governor Lee, couldn't he have allowed the bill to become law even without his signature? I mean, the fact that he signed it, he wanted to put his name on this bill. What does it tell you?
I mean, it tells us that our governor has no conscience and no courage. He lost a friend in the Covenant mass shooting, one of his wife's friends, and he told us he was going to do something to rein in gun violence. And he's failed Tennesseans. He's bowed down to the extremists, and he's really about arming these extreme elements in our community. Because not only are we talking about arming teachers, but the governor has allowed the Proud Boys to come to our Capitol armed. They've allowed neo-Nazis to march 3 blocks away from the Capitol, where I am right now, to march armed. And it's about arming these extreme elements in our community that are leaving us with trauma and terror. And it's at the expense of our children's lives. And he should be ashamed of himself, and it is a dereliction of duty and a dereliction of his oath to office that each of us take as elected officials in Tennessee.
Democratic State Representative Justin Jones, let's just put it this way. I'm really glad you were voted back in office, and thank you so much for our conversation.